Welcome back to Nerdy Jock Media Productions presents Dragon Ball Z Megapod special episode. This, ladies and gentlemen, theybies and maybes, is the fight to end all fights.
Ding, 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 ding. The battle of the baddest. Goku versus Frieza.
You could argue that we've been building to this since episode one of this podcast. This is the final fight, except for all the other stuff that happens later. And I couldn't do it, of course, without Kevin Ketchum, the nerdy jock himself, and this isn't even his final form.
Boom. Thank you, guys. Welcome. Glad you're here. And I'm also here with my co-host, DK, a.k.a. the DB Guru, who has been a Super Saiyan since he was born.
Oh, damn. Kevin,
Powerful.
I'm so excited for this episode.
I'm pumped. This is definitely, I know we said that earlier in Vegeta Saga, that was our favorite thing. It is, but this is also our favorite thing.
This thing is iconic. I mean, when you think about it, when you think about fights in Shounen Manga and anime, I mean, and things that influenced everything that came afterwards, I mean, there are few things that come close to touching the effect that Super Saiyan and the fight with Frieza had on all of Shounen Manga forever.
This is huge, guys. I mean, who doesn't remember? Anyone who has seen Dragon Ball or watches Dragon Ball Z knows the moment they saw Goku go Super Saiyan, right?
Right, yeah.
I mean, it was iconic. There were millions of kids all over the United States, all over the world, in Latin America, in Japan, in Asia, everywhere. Australia, waiting for that moment to happen.
Right. And as kids too, we had to deal with the t-shirts.
Yes.
We saw the t-shirts forever and we're like, why does Goku have blonde hair?
We had no idea, did we?
Yeah, no, I mean, if you had like Spanish VHS tapes somewhere, you might have had some idea, but we were just waiting for that moment. Like, when does he turn blonde? When does the Super Saiyan thing occur? It occurs today, everybody.
On this pod. It's funny, now that you said that, it's funny because my girlfriend a couple weeks ago, she's not watching with me. She watches other animes right now, but I will make her watch the abridged version for sure.
Oh,
or something like
hell
that.
yeah, hell yeah.
But she asked me in a funny sentence. She's like, I know there's a Goku guy, but who's that blonde guy who looks just like him? Is that his brother?
Oh man, if you follow famous Western comic book artist Jim Lee on Instagram, I'm famous for X-Men in the 90s, all kinds of stuff. Batman, Hush, amazing artist Jim Lee. He does these live drawings sometimes.
Yeah.
He did Goku one time, and even he was confused. He's like, "Wait, is Goku black haired or is he blonde? I don't get it."
God, yeah. And so she said that, and it was the sweetest, cutest moment I've had in a long time. I laughed, and I gave her a big hug and a kiss, and said, "Oh, I love you, babe." But no, it's
if one of the biggest artists in Western comic books doesn't even know the difference between base Goku and Super Saiyan Goku, your girlfriend has no chance.
No chance. And Jim Lee, love you, big fan, always have been. Keep up the good work.
All right, we're gonna jump right into this because this episode, there's a lot to cover. The fight between everybody and Frieza encompasses a wide spectrum of fights.
As a matter of fact, it actually covers from the episode perspective, 28 episodes. It's quite a bit chunk for one fight. And this is actually a continuous fight. We got to mention that in other battles coming forward, like the Cell Saga, the Majin Buu Saga, all those fights, there are breaks, there's pauses, there's time in the hyperbolic time chamber, there's the Cell Saga, the Cell Games, there's the World Tournament before the Majin Buu Saga, and even the Buu Saga, they're on different places, on different planets, in between this hour-long fight. This is the last fight of Dragon Ball Z that is one long-ass, continuous, badass battle.
That's true. From the moment that everybody got to Namek, they really haven't rested, have they? No. I mean, it's been nonstop. They saw Frieza day one, slaughtering all those Nameks, or Namekians, and it's just been building up to this from the beginning.
Yeah. Frieza, God, we're going to get in this guy soon. What a great villain. But hold on your horses. I actually do want to take a moment to give you guys a quick breakdown of how this episode is going to go compared to previous episodes.
Fire away.
Now, because we did mention that we're going to cover 28 episodes in this episode of this podcast, We're going to do it a little bit differently. But before we get into that details, I want to let you know to make sure if you're watching on YouTube, like and subscribe. We love you guys. We love the comments. And I'm glad you're having a good time watching it, and just keep watching because we got a lot more great content to come. And if you're listening on an audio podcast, guess what? We got you covered there too. We got you on Spotify, right?
We got Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple
Music,
Podcasts,
Google Play.
Podcasts. And hey, he mentioned social media. If by the time we finally release this episode, TikTok has not been banned in the United States, for the love of God, follow us on TikTok.
Yes, follow us. We got great content we're delivering pretty much daily on there. So watch, tune in, and like, subscribe, and make sure to comment because we love you guys. Thanks for all the amazing comments so far.
I think we need a little bit of a recap going into this because, yeah, I mean, obviously, thank you everybody who's been following us week to week. We love interacting with you guys. We love your comments. There is so much stuff to remember, and you know, this didn't come out of nowhere. There has been a journey leading up to this. So do you want to quickly recap how we got here?
Okay, so basically in the last episode of Dragon Ball Z Megapod, Frieza finally got to the battle. Up until this point, he was not involved. The Namekian dragon was summoned. They got 2 wishes out before the guru died, meaning there was 1 wish left, which will come into play later in not this episode, but the next episode.
Right.
But he dies. 2 wishes were granted. The 3rd one was not. Okay, so Piccolo is revived.
Right.
And he was transferred to planet Namek. And that's kind of a tricky question how they did that, but we'll get into that a little bit later too. But basically on Namek, where we're focused on right now, Frieza entered the battle. He saw that the Namekian Dragon Balls are gone. He's pissed as hell, but he's like, oh, I'll either wait again or I'll figure another way out to this. But either way, if I can't get our mortality, I'm going to take your lives from you. So he just starts his onslaught, and he turns his first formation because Vegeta kind of goads him on and says, oh, I heard you can change to another form. Zarbon said you have other forms. He has another form. Show us what you got. I'm a Super Saiyan, basically, which Vegeta thinks, which, you know what?
Right.
I love his confidence, cockiness. That's your Saiyan pride, brother. We love you. Thank you. And he transforms and gets these huge horns and impales Krillin immediately.
Yeah. So we're going right into the transformations.
Well, I mean, I wasn't trying to, but it's part of
Here
the
we go.
the recap.
This is what's going on in the fight. So round 1 of the fight, round 1 is base form Frieza versus Vegeta, which as Kevin mentioned, he just launches at Vegeta, and Vegeta, even though we've now established that Frieza has a power level of 530,000, yeah, like an insanely high power level, Vegeta is like, oh, whatever, I block it. And he even goads him like, why don't you transform?
Right.
As you said, yeah. Zarbon told me you transform to get stronger. Why don't you just do it so you can face me? I'm a Super Saiyan. And Frieza says, I don't think you want that, Vegeta, because when I killed all the Saiyans and your father, I was still in this form. And Vegeta was like, whatever, you know, I was stronger than my dad when I was 5 years old, whatever. And so he goads Frieza into transforming. Meanwhile,
another bad mistake. Vegeta's is full of bad moves, by the way.
I mean, this is setting a pattern that will repeat for the remainder of Dragon Ball Z.
I mean, but once he becomes a father, he does make some slightly better moves when it comes to his family. But when it comes to fighting, he just does the worst thing you can do almost every time.
He was still avoiding his fatherly duties during the Cell Saga when he made a similar mistake. True. For those who know, you know.
That's true.
But yeah, it's off to the races. But we do get a little other thing that happened that we didn't talk about in the last episode, which is that Piccolo, who has arrived on the planet, he is racing towards the gigantic key of Frieza, but then he senses a weaker key. And who is that he's sensing?
It's me. I'm Nail, brother of Screwdriver. I'm dying, but you know what? We look very similar. We're both fighter Namekian types.
And Piccolo, not giving any fucks, is just like, it's like, well, I'm sorry, I'm in a hurry, so I'm just gonna have to leave you here to die.
No, bro. Merge with me. You can have the mind, you can have the body, but just have my strength. And you'll just know my shit.
What? Merge with you? I'm perfect. I'm fucking Piccolo. I made the Makanko Sapo.
Don't be so stubborn, Piccolo. Come on, do it. Come on, don't be a pussy.
All right, but if I don't like it, I'm kicking you out in like 2 seconds.
Do it. Just do it, bro.
So then Piccolo puts his hand on Nail. He absorbs him. He retains his personality. He is fucking stoked. It's a meme.
He is.
Yes. The Piccolo meme. Yeah. He is so stoked. And one cool little thing that we'll touch on later is that he actually inherits Nail's memories too, because he knows who Dende is.
That's pretty damn cool.
Yeah. And now, unbeknownst to us, Piccolo is now the strongest person on planet Namek.
Yeah. And Piccolo is a badass. We're going to get to him in a second too. I always say that, but we are going to get to him in a second. But we also need to recap. Piccolo, badass, going to fight Frieza soon. But where is Goku? What's he up to right now?
Goku is in a Bacta tank, or the Dragon Ball Z equivalent of a Bacta tank.
He's in the Bacta. You say Bacta, I say Bacta.
Right.
He's in the Bacta tank right now.
Even though Dende is at the battle site, and as we know, Dende can heal people who are at the verge of death back to 100% health in less than a minute.
Hey, don't feel bad. You know, Krillin and Gohan, you guys don't really realize that till later. Or Vegeta doesn't. Because I remember they mentioned it in the anime. Actually, I was watching the Japanese version. They say that. Like, if we knew, he could have just healed him instantly. Boom. But
right. I think, and then they immediately forget about it.
I think for in Goku's case, the slow simmer really does help cook him up to that perfect Super Saiyan level. Like, get him right there. I think the fast heal might not have the same effect as the slow cooker.
Well, if anybody else is a writer out there, if you've read Robert McKee, you know that a ticking clock is a nice little hack for making your story tense and interesting, right? If you've played Final Fantasy VII, the very first mission, you got to escape that Mako reactor before 10 minutes is up. And even though you have plenty of time to do it, it doesn't feel like you do. You're like running the hell out of there, and every little random encounter, you're like, crap. So Goku, being indisposed of and that tank healing, it's great for the story.
Great for the story, and it's also intense. I love this as well. I'm glad you brought that up because Goku's live running commentary of his ki sensing ability is hilarious to me.
He's providing color commentary from like a comatose state almost.
Yeah, I really think that Goku and King Kai would make perfect like TNT commentators for whatever sport they're gonna commentate, probably World Martial Arts Tournament. But just have them like somewhere in a distant planet, just like following ki. I'm like, oh, this is very interesting. Who is this?
That person's ki just shrunk. That person's ki just got bigger. What's going on?
Oh my god, I don't know. Is that Gohan? Who knows? It is great. I love those moments. And actually, it's super impactful, especially when he actually breaks out, which we'll get to
later. But right now, Frieza has transformed.
Exactly.
Which leads us into round 2, second form Frieza versus Krillin, Gohan, and Vegeta.
Let's go, round 2. So we're gonna go by rounds in this one. I think we might have skipped that earlier, but we were gonna mention that we're gonna take this just like a boxing match. We have our undercards we're going through now, all the way through the main event with Goku versus Frieza. So now, we just talked about round 1 because we were caught up with Krillin, we just kind of went right to it. But now we're gonna hit round 2. So give us a little update here.
In this transformation, he is just a bigger, buffer, badder, steroided out version of the Frieza that we already know.
And reading the manga again and also watching the episodes, I did realize speed is a huge factor here too. I think speed is a lot. I think it's the most important thing for these transformations that gets underappreciated from all the fans who watch it. Because not only is Piccolo speed increase, but Frieza's every transformation, it multiplies at an exponential factor as well.
It seems like from a storytelling perspective, it's the most consequential too, right? Like preventing people from helping their friends at crucial moments, being able to escape gigantic explosions quickly.
Even Frieza's death beam that's extremely brutal and efficient, which is amazing.
Right.
For him.
So he transforms. He does what I call a Nappa, where he just raises his hand and creates like a massive weapon of mass destruction explosion around him, blows up the island that they're all on. They all manage to escape. Krillin helped Dende, so Frieza seizes that and decides to just fly up and just impale Krillin on his horn. And it's brutal in the comic. I mean, and reading the comic, obviously Kevin read the initial monochrome, which is always beautiful. It's great. I reread it in these gorgeous full color editions that are amazing too.
And I watched the episode.
And in the anime, they make a meal out of that too.
In the Japanese version, by the way, there is excessive gore. This might be one of the hardest scenes for me as a fan of Krillin. We're both huge Krillin fans. If you watch
Krillin stands, you know this by now.
This fucking hurt. I'm seeing this son of a bitch, Frieza, with Krillin on a horn. He's bobbing him up and down
like a
on
fucking
trampoline,
ball.
like a bull. I was like a damn shish kebab. Blood is gushing out of Krillin. I'm talking. His heart is just like, it's going.
It's gushing, and Frieza's drinking it.
This is going down his horn. It's going down his face, and he's just licking it right up.
Like he's Tessai from Ninja Scroll, just drinking the blood of the severed arm. He's just drinking Krillin's blood before he eventually just horn whips him down into the fucking vast ocean of Namek.
So we want to know, do you think there's any other villain that's more sadistic and messed up than Frieza is?
I don't think there is.
I don't think there is.
I think that Boo was naive, and that's what made him dangerous. I think that Cell doesn't hold a lot of menace for me, honestly, other than his sheer power.
Yeah.
Because he's calculating, and he has those Saiyan instincts where he wants to test himself.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I'm perfect now. I want to fight the most perfect versions of Goku and Vegeta or whoever.
Yeah, he definitely has the Saiyan arrogance in the Cell Saga. That's his thing too, but
Frieza is just straight up like,
this dude is wicked.
I mean, even before, what made Frieza so scary is that, as we talked about in earlier pods, he's been very polite up until now. And then he finally just lets loose, and he's like, I'm gonna show you guys fear worse than death for what you did. I'm gonna squash you maggots, or whatever it actually translates to. He's pissed.
Yeah. I mean, this is the first time we know. I mean, he talks about it, but now we actually see him getting pleasure from people's pain. He even says, he mentions verbatim, I think, well, not verbatim, but he does mention, he says, hey, I'm ready to show you guys something that's worse than hell. Like, I'm going to show you excruciating pain that's worse than hell. This dude is a sadist.
He's pissed, and so he throws Krillin into the water, and Gohan goes to rescue him, but as Kevin mentioned earlier, speed, he's able to block Gohan, just zip right in front of him, which awakens again Gohan's rage, which is the base of all of his power.
Yeah, and this is another great moment when Gohan gets rage, because I do love this scene. This is one of my Gohan attacks. This is one of the first episode we're still just getting to. It's one of my favorites because Gohan, when he goes off, when he gets fucking enraged, he gets pissed. It is something else to watch.
Right.
I mean, he gets a great kick in the face first. He gets tons of jabs, and even Frieza's like, dude, this is Frieza whose form is. His power level has got to be significantly above Gohan's.
Well, he said if there was any instrument that could even measure my power level, it would measure over 1 million.
Exactly. And Gohan, and by the way, before Gohan, no one could even touch this guy. And Gohan, pissed as hell that Krillin gets impaled, just goes to town on Frieza.
Definitely. I mean, it's enough that Vegeta has to concede. Vegeta, who's been hypothesizing the whole time, maybe Kakarot is a Super Saiyan. No, because Super Saiyans are supposed to be obsessed with battle and destruction, so it can't be Kakarot. So clearly it's me.
Wait, is Gohan possibly a Super Saiyan?
Yeah, that's what he says.
Basically. Oh my God, he might be. You know, it's amazing. I mean, but Gohan. All right, let's take a quick tangent. Guys, these firework, we're going to just call it firework ki blasts, they are not effective at all, unless you are Frieza.
They don't do there is not a single fight where they ever provide any advantage.
And by firework ki blast, if you're listening, you're not watching, it doesn't matter either way. It's when they do and there's 100 little beams that fly out and it makes a big smoke cloud and not a damn thing happens. Maybe some dust on their face, maybe a scratch or two, but guys, you guys know better than this. You know it's not going to do anything. You're only wasting your ki. Why even do it? Tell me, please. Anyone who's watching, listening, I don't get it. I'm kind of over it, to be honest, but I guess it makes it fun. Who doesn't like fireworks?
Make a case for it from a narrative perspective.
Okay, yeah.
I think that, when you're reading the comic, all it does is convey desperation. Nobody uses the firework ki blast unless they're desperate, because it's like, how many ki blasts can I shoot out at once? Oh, the explosion on the person is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And there's always that same reveal where it's like, oh shit, they're absolutely fine. And it's always awesome every single time, regardless.
Yeah. I mean, okay. Honestly, that's actually a fantastic point, DK, because there is a part later on we're gonna touch on, but I'm just gonna hit it now. Vegeta is fighting Frieza for a little bit. He doesn't do shit, which you guys know, but there is a really cool sequence when he does the firework ki blast, where he just blows off 1,000, but it looks like a missile trail, like 30, 40 tomahawk missiles going in a row at Frieza, and that was sick. But for the most part, I'm tired of this little popcorn firework ki blast that don't work, guys. We need to up our game there.
So
okay, never mind.
And then to cap off round 2, Dende heals Krillin, and Krillin fucking sends a Kienzon storm at Frieza.
Sick, by the way. I love Krillin. Man, it's like, I think he might be I think Krillin might be my favorite character.
He's so clutch during this fight. He cuts off Frieza's tail. Eventually, a little bit later, he uses the Taioken, aka Solar Flare as well. But yeah, we talked about, we love the Kienzon. I think we voted it our favorite new technique in our recap of the Saiyan saga. But this time, he's just throwing them and throwing them and throwing them. And even though he's weak as hell compared to Frieza, Frieza's still like, these things could cut me in half.
If you do not dodge those, you're shish kebab.
Yeah. And Krillin, this is his most bold too, because even though Frieza just impaled him, he starts like slapping his butt like, ha 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 ha.
He does the whole tongue out, come and get me, Frieza. Because he's actually kind of trying to distract, because I think Gohan, which we didn't mention, after Gohan did do an ass whooping on Frieza obviously, we all know, guys, if you've seen the series, that does not do the damage you're going to think it's going to do.
And Gohan is now on the receiving end of some shit.
So Frieza's kind of beating the shit out of Gohan here. Not going to lie.
And then, of course, who would arrive but Piccolo?
Piccolo? That's not Piccolo. His energy's so much stronger than that Namekian.
And I love Vegeta's comment too, where he's like, "Oh, of all the wishes you could have, you wished back that trash that we destroyed on Earth."
He's like, "Yeah, I remember killing you on Earth."
And he's like, "Sorry, I'm trash, but in my classic Piccolo line, I'm gonna kill you after I kill Frieza." And so now we get to round 3: Piccolo versus second form Frieza.
Love it. Now, what makes this fight so cool is that this is also a great measuring stick moment. We talked about that last episode, and that's a lot of things for Dragon Ball Z. We go on measuring stick moments. And we realize pretty quickly in the fight, because Piccolo and Frieza, they do a little shit talking, they sum each other up, they kind of, do some basic attacks, a little hand-to-hand combat. Piccolo gets knocked into a couple of mountains, knocks him down. Frieza thinks he's got the upper hand, but it doesn't really do too much. Piccolo, shortly
there is a warm-up period, much like when you watch a boxing match or a UFC fight. There's a little bit of circling and jabbing going on, and then eventually Frieza's like, it's time for me to get a little bit more serious, and then Piccolo, and the classic move, whips off the weighted clothes, and he's like, it's time for me to get a little bit serious too, motherfucker.
Yeah, but what the measuring stick moment that was mentioned though, Dan, right? It's important to note that this lets us know that the new Super Piccolo, it's what they call it, Super Piccolo is stronger than second form Frieza.
Right, which is an incredible precedent to set, because Nail made a fleeting comment before he died where he said, if you were one with your original self, you would be more powerful than Frieza.
Dun, dun, dun. Which is some foreshadowing?
Which is incredible. Yeah, and I mean...
What could happen? I don't know.
And then Piccolo's like, I have no interest in being one with that asshole. Nope. Not at all. And then Nail's like, well, take me before I die.
Come on.
And here we are. And Piccolo is stronger than second form Frieza. And he's going and going and going. He's pushing the pace. Dende's healing Gohan. Frieza's like, why the hell is everyone coming back from the verge of death? As Piccolo's beating the shit out of him. And Frieza, no one to, thumb your nose at. He's pretty strong still. He starts getting a little bit of a comeback on Piccolo as well, even though Piccolo's a little bit stronger. And there's just a lot of good old-fashioned hand-to-hand combat here.
Lots of good moments here.
Right. Not a lot of like crazy ki blasts, anything like that. They're just beating the shit out of each other, and it's just it's a war of attrition, if you will. The last Namekian alive, aside from Dende, versus the Emperor of the Universe. It's poetic at the end of this massive genocide that has occurred that this is the fight that happened. Piccolo at the end of this exchange turns out to be too strong for second form Frieza, and then Frieza drops a bombshell. He says, Vegeta has already mentioned that when I transform, I become stronger, and I have not one, but 2 more transformations left.
Big needle drop right there.
And then in the manga, he just like immediately transforms. It's like 2 pages.
Yeah.
And the anime, obviously, they stretch it out a lot. Like he said earlier, 28 episodes for just the fight with Frieza. But it happens pretty quick, no matter what medium you're consuming it in. This is now, all right, round 4, third form Frieza versus Piccolo. Piccolo is now, again, no match. Again, we're talking buts and therefores there.
Yeah.
Piccolo is stronger than Frieza, but Frieza can get stronger. And he's just murking Piccolo with these little air jabs with his fingers. He's like...
Okay, perfect. I'm glad you mentioned the air jabs because this is what freaking pisses me off, guys. Okay, I'm talking about the firework ki blast. This is the first time I think anyone has done a quick, like... that actually did any kind of damage, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is the first time, and I've watched this series multiple times, even though my memory is not perfect. I have definitely seen a million firework ki blasts where you just do, hey, we're just gonna throw the whole yard at the fence and see what sticks, whatever, if that even makes sense. Throw everything at the wall, see what sticks, whatever. But this is the first time you're gonna see anyone in Dragon Ball Z do one of these attacks where you just do the ki blast that actually does damage. Even back in Dragon Ball with Tao Pai Pai, right? With
the Dompa or whatever.
Yeah, he does the Dompa and he does the hand chops against Goku, and that doesn't do anything. This is the first time actually ever you see them doing something of consequence when it comes to the firework ki blast, as we like to call it.
That may be true. My memory also isn't perfect, and as you were,
DB, it's great.
As you were saying that, I was scrubbing through the memory banks, and I was just, I mean, guys, sometimes I make mistakes. I nominated Krillin's technique where he shot the slow beam and then split it into multiple attacks against Nappa and Vegeta earlier, and then I was rewatching to my delight the 23rd Tenkaichi Budokai arc of Dragon Ball, and I forgot that Krillin did that attack against Piccolo when he fought him. So it's like, okay, it's not perfect, but I think that you're right. I am inclined to believe you are right.
Because this attack does mess Piccolo up.
It draws blood.
Yeah, he cannot move. He actually goes for pivotal points. He's like, I'm gonna fuck up your knees, your shoulders, anything that's gonna hurt, and then he just goes crazy.
Right.
He's like, I'm gonna hurt you where you can't recover, lower back pain, whatever you got. He's gonna I'm gonna get you there.
And then good guy Krillin is like, I gotta go help him, and Vegeta's like, fuck that.
He grabs his ankle, says, no, don't do that. You're stupid.
Yeah.
This is Frieza.
What are you talking about, bro? I gotta help Piccolo.
Be a good guy. That's my tone of voice.
I'm a good guy, bro. And then Vegeta says to him, and honestly, I'm gonna be real here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be real here.
Hey,
I don't want to incur the ire of the fandom, but it's okay. We can have spirited disagreements.
Right.
I like the idea that if a Saiyan fights to their maximum limit and reaches a point of near death, because some of you have done workouts where you felt like you were gonna die, or something like that. It's like if you fight and you almost die, and then you get exponentially stronger when you come back from the brink. That's one thing, but just randomly just being at the end of death and coming back and being stronger, that to me is fucking stupid. And that's what Vegeta does here. He's like, look, if you just shoot me and almost kill me, and then that little Namekian shithead down there on the ground heals me, I will actually become a Super Saiyan.
No, Vegeta, guys, we all know that's BS. To the 10th degree, that actually that settles my point from earlier when I was talking about, hey, are you going to get better healing from Dende healing you right there? Or are you going to get more in-depth, better healing in a back to tank? Same kind of situation.
Yeah, I mean,
we're talking about the opposite of that, where it's like death versus healing. But is one quick death blast to the chest, which, by the way, Krillin, you never have done that. That's the most effective ki blast you've ever done.
And imagine this, and I say these criticisms all the time, but I want to reiterate that Dragon Ball is one of my favorite stories of all time.
Love it.
Even if I criticize it, Toriyama is a genius at a level that I will never even be able to aspire to, because he was writing this week to week for years and drawing it simultaneously, just improvising it as he went along without
decades,
a whole ton of forethought, and he was able to create this story. It's incredible.
Yeah.
That said, like if Vegeta had a little growth moment where he had fought Frieza, saved people, maybe even saved Piccolo, like the guy that he was responsible for killing by proxy of Nappa before in the Saiyan saga, and almost loses his life. And that also creates a little growth for Dende, where Dende is like, well, I hate you for killing all the Namekians, but I'm going to heal you because I saw you save this guy that looks like Nail or whatever. He would have earned a power up that way. This whole thing where he's like, Krillin, just impale me with a beam and then I'm gonna magically power up if I heal. I hate that so much. I really, really do.
Vegeta always looking for the easy way out. That's why you're always number 2, brother.
Right. So he lowers his power level enough that Krillin just blasts him through the chest.
Boom.
Of course, Dende doesn't want to heal him because he slaughtered a whole Namekian village.
And Dan, let me take a quiet moment here. That's a brutal. The Krillin was brutal. This one, Vegeta shot, that is brutal as hell too, man.
Yeah.
Like, if you're watching the Japanese version, which I highly recommend because the blood is a lot more gratuitous. It's there. You can feel the pain. Like, Vegeta gets probably, I would say at least not a cannonball size, maybe like a 7-pound bowling ball size through his chest, out his back.
If you think about anatomy, it's his spine and his guts that are just gone.
Gone.
Vaporized.
He still lasts for like 5 more minutes after that.
Of course, because it's fucking anime and it's awesome. But
it's amazing.
Yeah, he just gets like a giant hole. It's like if you've ever seen that movie Kung Pao Enter the Fist. Yeah. It's when he punches just a solid chunk out of the guy. That's literally it. Yeah.
So whatever, bro.
So I mean, but Gohan comes in clutch here because Gohan does one of the most badass things he has done so far, where he does like a super Masenko against third form Frieza, and actually hurts him a little bit. Gets some. I think he even says this is the first time anyone's gotten dust on me, unless that happened earlier. Memory isn't perfect, but it definitely does a little bit of something.
Yeah. So Piccolo is getting thrashed here, and then Gohan does step it up, and this is a really cool moment too. And like I said at the beginning of this episode, I said Gohan attacks episode, which was 80 or 87 or something like that. When he does his badass attack against Frieza, that was cool. But now Gohan's like, man, this is all or nothing now. I'm healed. I'm feeling better.
Right.
Dennis got me back. And he does the biggest Masenko you've ever seen. And what's important about this attack here, especially if you're watching anime, is wow, there's so many moments if you watch through Super and even up to Dragon Ball Superhero, that you'll realize wow, all these moments I didn't ever think mattered really do matter for the future of Dragon Ball and Gohan. This is one of those hey, he has that potential.
Right.
He can do that Masenko. He can do it. And he nearly got the best of Frieza. I mean, I have to imagine, I don't think it's going to kill him, but I imagine that would knock him down. If this attack actually landed, I think he would have been down to 20%, 30% left of his vital capacity. I don't know, but it was a hell of a beam. I would say it's nuclear. I would say it's near nuclear.
And I think there was a bit of a meta note when he did the attack too, where Toriyama made him do that attack because he needed to get through third form Frieza quickly to get to final form Frieza, which was, let's be real, much easier to draw.
Yes.
Which is a theme that's going to come back later in this episode. I won't say when. But definitely Toriyama, it's hard to write and draw 22 pages a week, everybody. Week after week. It really is hard. So if you can find a way to make your designs a little bit easier to draw, that actually saves you a shit ton of time.
But can I tell you this real quick? We didn't even touch on this yet, damn. This is super important. So we're in, Frieza Form 3 right now?
Yes.
Yeah. Frieza Form 3, guys. Let's just talk about it. It's obviously a straight up copy off of Alien.
Oh yeah,
it's not a copy. It's an homage, right?
Very Geiger-esque.
Very Geiger-esque, like we talked about in the last episode. the Dragon Ball Z movie, The World's Strongest.
The
Check
World's
it out
Strongest,
on YouTube. It's
right.
available and on Spotify, anywhere you can find it. Just a quick plug there too.
And Toriyama's inspiration, like he famously said he did not read manga, but he liked Western sci-fi movies. He liked Star Wars. He liked Alien.
Yep.
So it totally makes
Terminator
sense.
2. You know,
Oh, that's coming up.
No, okay. That's coming up soon. But yeah. So like when you see his, Frieza's form, if you're listening and not watching, and you're like what the hell is Kevin talking about there? His face just extends out this huge thing, just like the film Aliens. Even in the back, there's like these, I call them bones, right? Bony protrusions
Like
from
bony
his back.
spikes,
Bony spikes from his back, which are literally the same location, same area, same shape, same size as the alien xenomorphs from Alien. I'm a huge Aliens fan, by the way. I'm a huge sci-fi guy. I love it all. I watch it all. We'll do some sci-fi podcasts on our other feed coming up in a couple months.
Toriyama was rushing to that easier design, but he had to throw in a Geiger design in between just for the fuck of it.
It was like so much love to Toriyama. We miss you so much, and thank you for doing that because you know what? We love Alien too. So it's a great series. But have to mention that.
Pour one out for the master.
Pour one out because we're having a couple brews tonight too, so we're having a fun time. But that is important to note because he does like to take inspiration from other things, like all animes do. And, Alien's a great one to take from. So.
Oh, yeah. The first two Alien movies, I think, two of the best sci-fi movies ever made, period.
Yeah. I think they're actually, I don't know about right now, but I think they're releasing a 35th anniversary edition of Alien out in theaters again, which I'm going to see. It's not out yet, but it's coming out in a few weeks. So.
I will go with you.
Oh, come.
If it's coming in a few weeks, let's do it.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to see it. It's one of the best scripts.
I would love to see that in theaters.
I'm a huge Alien fan. Just like Die Hard 1, Alien 1 is also like a fantastic, perfect, near perfect script.
And just like Terminator 2, Aliens is a perfect sequel.
It's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
It's one of the best.
Oh, man.
Anyways,
back to the fight. So we're rushing to this final form. So Frieza just says, hey, why don't I just, top this all off and just transform again?
Snaps his fingers.
He starts transforming again. Dende heals Gohan, who almost died. And then Krillin and Gohan convince Dende, like, look, Vegeta sucks, but just heal him because we kind of need him because Frieza sucks a little bit more.
Yeah.
And so Dende reluctantly heals Vegeta, but
go ahead.
Frieza notices.
Frieza sees this one.
Yeah. And even though I revisited this through the manga because I wasn't going to watch 28 episodes of this, like I love in the anime that when he's going to the final form, like his skin is cracking. It's like, but like it's like he's shedding a cocoon and he like his eyes just kind of look over and he's like, oh, that's what's going on.
And he's like, what? And it's like a red glow on the anime. If you're watching the anime, it's like a red glow around all of his cracks. And he's like, oh shit. He's like, no wonder why they're all better now. He's like, we're gonna have to kill this guy.
Right. Which leads us to round 4.
Mm-hmm.
Final form Frieza versus everybody but Goku.
Right.
So he shows up, much sleeker design. You can see it right here. You know it. It's classic.
Mm-hmm.
It's like very Alien in a way. Not Alien the movie Alien, but just like it kind of has like a little bit of like the
classic UFO aliens you would see.
Exactly. Kind of like a naked, just bland, sort of pale body.
Yeah,
I guess.
Actually, they even mention it in the manga and in the anime that he's like, I think Krillin makes a comment saying that, oh wow, this guy looks puny and like his form looks weak.
Right.
And Piccolo says, hey, this is a perfect example of why you don't judge a book by its cover.
Right.
Because like if you can't feel his power, I don't know what's wrong with you, Krillin, because this guy has just quadrupled his power or more,
Right. And the first thing he does is he just kills Dende. He kills the Deus Ex Machina that has been healing them all of this time. He just boom. Now
great moment in sorry to interrupt.
Go ahead.
Great moment in the anime, by the way. I watched that as well because I've been concurrent on both. But it was really, really cool. It's a very slow motion. I was like, I'm wondering how cool this would translate to live action. Because it's a black screen and all you see is the Z fighters. You see the Piccolo, Krillin, and Gohan, and then boom, Dende at the very back, and it's just like, just a really great tracking shot from the animation that I love. And it's like, oh no, boom.
It's a double upping of the stakes
Yeah.
because now Frieza is way too strong, and now there are no sensu beans and there's no dende. And
he knows, and he says, and not only no dende, no sensu beans, he's like, no recovery.
right.
He's like, you're gonna die now.
Round 4, final form Frieza versus everybody.
Everybody.
And of course, at this point, Vegeta has just been healed by Dende, even though Dende is dead.
So
Because
he's feeling pretty confident, right?
he's feeling pretty confident, so
Yeah.
he attacks all out.
Yeah.
But quickly realizes,
He's not a Super Saiyan yet, guys.
no.
No.
I mean, and not only that, he is so hopelessly outclassed by Frieza that he loses the will to fight.
Yeah.
I mean, Toriyama comments in the little narration
Yeah.
thing. It's like I think that might be the first time I can remember him doing that, where it's like, and thus, for once,
The Saiyan cried. He lost his will to fight. And Vegeta literally sheds a tear in the manga and in the anime. I mean, it's a very great moment for the series in general because it's probably the first humbling experience I think Vegeta's ever had. I mean, even when he lost against Goku, he's like, I'm going to kick your ass later. I'm going to come back better and stronger. But nothing. This is the first time Vegeta's like, wow. He's like, I'm done.
even when Vegeta lost on Earth, he knew that he lost because of random shit that he couldn't have predicted, but that he was still technically stronger than everybody who beat him. And so he was like, you know what? I just need to get out of here. I need to recoup. I need to go in the back to tank, and then I'm going to come back, and then I'm going to kill everybody. But this is the first time that we see him just feeling hopeless.
Never seen that before, and it's painful to watch if you're a Vegeta fan, but at the same time, this is actually a great growth moment, and we love on this podcast, we love the growth moments.
We do, and Frieza, the sadist that he is, just seizes on the hopelessness and just beats the shit out of Vegeta.
He taunts him. He talks shit. He's like, "Oh wow." He's like, "Oh, this is the great Super Saiyan you're talking about."
Flies
here.
up and just headbutts him under his
Headbutts him.
chin.
And he's like, "Oh, gonna do anything? Do anything?" He's just, "Shh, boop, nope, nothing." And Vegeta just gives up, man. It's very reminiscent of the fight previously when Piccolo was getting shot with the ki blast. The same deal, but just Vegeta just got pummeled to death, basically.
He's being picked apart piece by piece, and then he does this little thing where he just looks over his shoulder to everybody. He's like, "Do feel free to step in anytime you feel like it."
Yes, oh my god, we do have to talk about that because it's like Piccolo's like, no, don't do anything. I think Piccolo's like he's kind of like liking the fact he's like, no, you. He's like, Nappa, kill me, you fucker. He's still pissed.
Oh, you think he's
Piccolo's got a little resentment there. I don't think it's just like, hey, we can't handle Frieza's strength. It's more like, you know what, dude? Kind of
just let this happen.
Kind of fuck this guy for a little bit here. Let me just see him get some of his just desserts. I mean, honestly, when Piccolo first arrived to this fight, Vegeta said like, "Oh, you're the guy Nappa killed on planet Earth.
What a waste of a wish."
Yeah, waste of a wish. I'm like, dude, literally. One episode earlier, 2 chapters earlier in the manga, he was talking shit. So I think Piccolo's like, hold back. Let's just see what he can do. And then, Krillin, Gohan wanted to kind of help out, which is also a cool moment too, because it's showing that Vegeta slowly is going to be turning.
Because I forgot to mention at the commencement of this fight, Frieza blasted at Gohan and Vegeta knocked him out of the way.
Yes.
And Gohan's like, "Thanks for saving me, Vegeta." And he's like, "I just wanted to show how cool that would look."
And here's also a cool little extra teaser if you haven't read the manga. It's a little bit different in the anime from the manga. In the anime, Vegeta comes and saves him. He does he shoves him, does like this kind of chop thing, like a shoving chop. In the manga, he just straight up fucking jump kicks his ass.
Yeah, he Bruce Lee kicks him.
He Bruce Lee kicks him in the head and knocks him over. So it was not like a nice save. It's like, oh fuck, I gotta save this kid, and he just flying jump kicks his ass. It's crazy.
And then he even says like, "I didn't do it to save you. I don't care about you at all. I just thought it would look cool." Yeah. And it did.
And it did. It was a cool moment.
Until he started getting his ass kicked. And so now Frieza is taunting him. He's taunting everybody else.
Oh yeah.
Meanwhile, on the ship, the back to tank finally is done.
Could we do the sound effect?
It drains. Goku. Does he explode out of it?
Okay, here's a great moment I do want to talk about from the anime, not the manga.
Okay.
Is the Kokichi score? This is a perfect moment here because in the English language version, the the sound mix is so not right for this scene.
The Falconer score.
The Falconer score is. Hey, don't. I mean,
Look,
you know
we know
what?
there are so many Falconer stands out there. We get it. There are great themes. The Super Saiyan 3 theme is great. Super Vegeta theme is great. Super Saiyan 2 theme is great. Falconer did a lot of great music for the localization.
But here's the point I need to make here, because this is a crucial moment. Goku spent forever getting to planet Namek, and then he got beat down to where he's Captain Ginyu, so then he's back in the back tank. It's like, dude, when is this guy gonna fight? And so, like, I thought, I was kind of over it, to be honest. I'm like, dude, I've seen this stuff. Like, come on, get out of here, man. And nothing happens. And he finally gets on the back to tank. And after I've given up, as a fan, you give up all hope that you're going to be excited. The Japanese language score, you listen to it, guys. It is uplifting. It's upwarming. Actually, I think I'm going to just have a clip of this, and I'll play it right now when we do this, because it is like...
As you talk about it.
As I talk about it, it is the most uplifting. It's operatic. It's bravios. It's badass. It's Western as well. It has like a little, kind of like a Western vibe too. It's like... And he kind of...
It's heroic.
It's a heroic as hell.
Yeah.
And I was like, shit, did I just get goosebumps again? Yes, I did. And that's why we loved it so much, because even though you say, oh my gosh, you've been in the back to take for 8-10 episodes, he's back and you still feel the same way you saw it the first time you saw it, because it's awesome.
No, I mean, yeah, honestly, I get goosebumps when I rewatch the original cut of Z with the full Shinsuke Kikuchi score intact. There are just so many little moments like this. And yeah, you're right. This is a very heroic moment. It's great.
Super cool.
And if you're a kid in the 2000s watching this on Toonami, and you've seen Super Saiyan shirts forever, and you know that Goku is about to fight Frieza.
Is it coming?
Yeah, I mean, like, I guess if you were watching on Toonami, you would have had the Falconer score. But
check out the Japanese version on Crunchyroll.
It's great. I mean, and there are versions of the dub that have it too. I mean, it's all good, guys. It's all good. So, anyways, Goku gets out.
And then, by the way, they cut back. I mean, in the anime, I know we're talking manga, but I'm gonna just do a quick anime.
Go ahead, man.
They're cutting back. Vegeta's still getting destroyed here, about pretty much to death. Pretty much, they're like, we're gonna wait until he's dead, and then we're gonna send Goku over there. Goku goes on top of the ship. He takes a deep breath. He says, let me just find the key. He takes his sweet ass time when Vegeta's getting destroyed.
Let me feel my feelings.
And when Goku was coming back, if you guys remember, when he's coming back to fight against Vegeta, that dude didn't waste 1 second. He was like, no, shit, I gotta get there as soon as I can. I mean, he did waste a second.
Except he flew on Kintoon,
yeah, except he did. But besides the fact that he wasted those seconds, like when he was on Snake Way, he was like, no, I gotta get there. Goku takes his time. He's like, okay. He's like, they're not too far. If you're not watching, you're listening. I just did the whole, pink ring. Index finger to the mouth to feel the air. And he says, "Oh, they're close. Let's go." And then by this time, it's almost too late.
You're making the case right now because if anybody is watching and being like, "Wait, they covered the anime up until now. Why are they mostly talking about the manga?" This is the reason. And the manga, it's like 3 panels. He's like out of the ship, dashes forward. Now he's at the fight. But this entire fight, the reason that a fight took 28 episodes is because they did not want to catch up with the manga. So they were like, we need to stretch this out as much as possible. So yeah, he checks the wind. He's like, he adjusts his boots.
Yeah, he's like, okay.
He makes sure his hair is perfectly gelled into those iconic spikes.
He does the neck thing. No.
He's like, before I dash over, let me do like a warm-up lap around the ship.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, and then I'll go. And then guess what?
Meanwhile, Vegeta's just like,
please.
He's being choked and punched like over and over again. That's the move. It's like Frieza's like choking him with his tail and just punching him in the spine again and again.
Blood is just gushing out of Vegeta's mouth at this point.
His kidneys have ruptured.
They're done.
He's dead.
He's dead. He's like, oh no, Goku, if you come here 3 seconds earlier, I might live.
Yeah.
No.
He's so dead, he's calling Goku by his Earth name. Those are the stakes. No, it's all good. But anyways, eventually Goku does dash over. He shows up.
He does a super dash.
Right before Frieza's about to Bruce Lee eye gouge Vegeta to death or something.
You feel a presence, like a whoosh. Like what happens? You see the lines if you're reading the manga, Someone showed up. Frieza literally just drops Vegeta's body, and you look over and he says, "Oh man, what's here?" And Piccolo, Gohan, Krillin, they all do the famous. If you're watching on YouTube, they do
Krillin has a repeat line of what he said when Goku showed up at the Saiyan fight. When he showed up on Namek, he's like, "Are you really Goku or are you someone else?"
"Who is this? This is a new key I'm feeling."
Yeah. And Goku, in a similar fashion, is like, "Everybody, stand back. I got this.
I got this, guys.
Yeah.
I know Piccolo said he got it, and the guy before him said he got it. Vegeta said he got it. No. I think I got this.
And thus commences round 5.
Bing, 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 bing.
Goku versus Final Form Frieza.
All right, this first part is one of my favorite parts. I read all this manga recently, and I just watched the episode on Crunchyroll yesterday. It's fantastic. Okay, this first fight is your classic Western. Let's size up our lead character versus the villain of this episode, of the series, the saga. We've been waiting literally 20-something episodes to see this fight happen and get down, and they don't miss a beat. Goku talks crap to Frieza, saying like, "What?" He's like, "You don't need to kill Vegeta here." It's like, "Leave this guy alone. Like, there's no need for this right now." And
then Vegeta like doesn't like that he said that. He's like, "You're so sentimental. It's your weakness."
He's like, "If you were a Super Saiyan and just could get rid of your mercy, then maybe you could turn and be the strongest being ever."
I gotta give another nod to Dragon Ball Abridged Team 4-Star for the bit here that they did where it was like
4-Star.
the whole thing where Vegeta just can't stop talking about who is going to be the next Super Saiyan, and it's just annoying the shit out of Frieza. It's like, "Oh, he is the person that you have feared. The reason you wiped out the Saiyans." And Frieza's just like, no. Just,
no.
And then eventually Frieza just blasts him through the heart with a finger beam.
Yes. Okay, now I'm going to take it from a very comical perspective, a very serious, heartwarming, touching situation.
Right.
So I sort of just change the mood here, but you know what? This is on a side note. This is a very great moment for Vegeta. Another growth moment here. Mm-hmm. Vegeta actually begs Kakarot. He pleads. He said, "Please." He's like, Kakarot. He's like, he wiped out the Saiyans. He tells the Bardock story. He says, or gives an idea that I think Frieza remembers Bardock, his father, which is the first.
Yeah, he said he looks familiar, and then he eventually says, "Oh, he was that Saiyan that opposed me to the very end." Yeah,
that guy, and it was really touching because Vegeta actually, he tells his story. He says, "No, it wasn't a giant meteorite that destroyed our planet. It was Frieza." He's like, "And I've been kind of his essentially slave in a lot of ways,
right.
Like to do his bidding. Is like I've been on my hands and knees groveling under his power, doing what he wants, and
he killed us because he was worried about the Super Saiyan, and you will not achieve it unless you let go of what makes you human. Basically, let go of your compassion, let go of your sympathy. Just destroy him. It has to be a Saiyan that does it."
Yeah, and without taking one breath, Goku says, "He's like, no." He's like, "That's not you. That's me." He's like, "I'm not you. I'm different." I was like, "I will always have mercy and care." Basically.
Right.
It's something like that.
But he acknowledges, he's like, "Man, Vegeta, you even cried. You begged me right before you died. That must have really been hard."
Not easy for him.
And so he psychic blasts a grave open. He just blasts the ground open with his mind.
Yeah, probably Vegeta's first therapy session ever. Yeah.
Yeah, his first cathartic moment in his entire life.
Therapeutic session ever he's ever had in his life. So his heart, just like the Grinch, a little bit bigger.
It's that moment. I mentioned Robert McKee earlier. Going to talk about him again of character versus characterization. We get this idea that Vegeta actually doesn't care about the Saiyans because he doesn't care about Raditz, doesn't care about Nappa. Mentions he doesn't care about his dad, doesn't care about the rest of the Saiyan side. He only really cares about himself. But when he's at death's door, he is only concerned with poetic justice, which is that a Saiyan must kill Frieza.
Yes. So that just even gives a little more heft, a really great narrative moment there too, because it also gives Goku a little more stakes in this fight too, even though he's already ready to kick Frieza's ass.
And if you're reading the manga, or if you've read the manga, this might be the first and only time that the manga references something that was exclusive to the anime, because Toriyama did not write Bardock, the father of Goku.
Yes.
He did not write it. It came out sequentially with the Namek saga, but it is referenced, and there are 2 panels in the manga.
Yes, they added them, right?
From that OVA.
Yeah.
Yeah, that he drew himself of that. So that's pretty dope. That's a precedent right there.
So all the people that get mad at me about the Bardock stuff, saying, "Oh, this is not known," I'm like, no, it really legit. If you're old like us and you grew up old school, like OG Dragon Ball fans, from the beginning, Bardock wasn't part of any of that. I'm sorry, he wasn't.
He wasn't, but Bardock, the father of Goku, I love it still. I think it. I think
it's his favorite. It's his favorite.
I'm a stand for Bardock. I think that before the retcons, that was a great story.
No, I do think it's a great story, Dan. But I also think like it's kind of like it's just frustrating when you hear all these the noobs and they're saying like, oh well, this has all been established. Like, no, it kind of wasn't established. None of this was established.
No,
it's great canonical information, but this is all new school, not old school.
And this is also Frieza's making a connection, because I forgot to mention earlier that when Gohan is actually able to contend with him in both second and third form, and he realizes, well, this kid was almost dead. Now he's back from the dead and he's way stronger. He must be a Saiyan. But he says, but I killed every Saiyan except for Raditz, Nappa, and Vegeta. So he couldn't be Vegeta and Nappa's son. He doesn't look like them. He's like, maybe Raditz.
He looks a lot like Raditz. I cannot do Frieza voice.
Oh man, rest in peace, Chris Ayres. Linda, I forget her last name right now, who did the original English Frieza for Funimation, did a great job. But Chris Ayres, that performance was beyond. And I feel like if it is not too bold to say, maybe I'm sure other people have made this comment before too, but whoever played Frieza in Dragon Ball Z Abridged, it feels like when they made Kai and they recast Frieza, they were looking for that voice, because it sounds exactly the same. And Chris Sabat, bless his soul, is a Dragon Ball Z Abridged fan and has given work to some of those people and has talked about how genius the stuff that they do is and stuff like that. When he was recasting Frieza, he's probably like, I want a Frieza that sounds like Dragon Ball Z Abridged Frieza. And I mean, they got it. Chris Ayres, just chilling performance, and rest in peace. It's so sad that he's gone. Anyways, round 5, Goku versus Frieza.
Ding, ding, ding. Okay. Like I said, I kind of touched on this quickly, and I don't think we have to spend too much time, because this is just hey, let's do a little dick measuring kind of contest here.
It's a warm up.
It's a warm up.
They say at the end it's a warm up, but the most iconic moment in the warm up is that Goku, even during the warm up, is slightly disadvantaged. He gets kicked underwater at one time,
right?
And he has a cool little tricky thing that he does, which is iconic and awesome.
Well, no. Even before that though, there's the iconic. I gotta say one more iconic moment.
Go ahead.
I don't want to step on that iconic moment. We can talk about that first, but we need to talk about they're on the pillar. They're standing on the pillar. They've been fighting, and there's the smoke cloud. The dust cloud dissipates, and Goku and Frieza are back to back, standing against each other like an old Western standoff. But
in the anime, anime.
And that was a great moment that you can see on T-shirts. You see it on everything, lunch boxes, whatever, you name it. Anywhere you see that, that's an iconic moment in the anime that wasn't in the manga, but was great. It was fantastic. So sorry about that.
No.
Okay.
I didn't remember that because I read the manga. So
well, look,
that is important.
Well, it's a super important moment because it's actually iconic. You see that on everything. Look on anywhere you can look and find T-shirts for Dragon Ball Z. You're gonna find that one there with back to back. Goku versus Frieza, and it's funny.
Frieza's like half the height of Goku.
He's half the height of Goku.
But 5 times the gravity.
Yeah, I'm going to put the image right up behind me, like right here. You're going to see it, and you'll say, oh yeah, I've seen that before.
You already see it.
And you already know.
This explanation is now superfluous.
Yes, exactly. But we got a great moment when they're fighting each other. Frieza gets upper hand for a moment, and he kind of knocks Goku down in the water, right?
And Goku, what happens? Goku just kind of sits there and thinks for a little bit, and he realizes something.
And he's holding his breath. He's better than Krillin at holding his breath, by the way, because Krillin did this earlier, kind of, but without this attack.
Right. He mentions, he's like, okay, one thing that I've learned from fighting both Vegeta, Nappa, and now Frieza is that these people can't sense ki.
Yes.
They just have super eyesight.
Thank God you mentioned that, DK, because that is a huge thing. I wrote. I think I wrote it in my notes, but my notes are gone now. But
There
anyway.
are too many notes. We forgot to mention all the times that they used Taioken and how everybody learned that technique, but nobody ever taught each other actually more useful techniques like Kaioken. Exactly.
Exactly.
So
we'll talk about that later. But
yeah.
Anyways, long story short, is that they're underwater, and you get a great classic Goku moment. And this is why it's fun to have Goku there. Some people, you get there's a lot of, believe it or not, there's a lot of Goku. They might not be haters, but they're like, oh, there's better characters, whatever. But this is a great moment where Goku, not only just the strongest character out there fighting, but it shows like his old school, who he was from Dragon Ball days. Goku's like, hey,
He's a genius fighting tactician.
He's a tactician artist, and he loves to find an interesting way to overcome an opponent. He loves that. He's like, well, I'm not going to hate this. I'm going to take advantage of this moment and make the best of it. And he's like, hey, wait, if he can't sense ki, then what can I do underwater here while he's up there thinking I'm right here?
Right. And he does, I think, the first ever disembodied Kamehameha, where he makes 2 Kamehamehas and he floats away from them and he treats them like, I've mentioned this technique a bunch, the Sokidan.
Yeah.
He just one up.
But he even in the manga, he's like, okay, stay here. He talks to his Kamehamehas.
Right.
He says, stay here, don't move, okay? And he kind of slowly like swims back.
Right. And then just like one away, boom. Frieza's like, what the hell? And he's like, oh, that's not him. And then 2 away, boom. Oh, that's not him. And then from above,
boom.
Crash.
Just
double foot kick Frieza right into a mountain.
Yeah, classic kicks moves, amazing move. Great in the anime, great in the manga. Just an all-timer cool move by Goku. And that's a quick reminder like, oh, you know what? He still likes to have fun when he's fighting. This is for him. This moment right there, that was like let me think of a cool new tactic I can use to get a better advantage. Not just the Ki blast firework, Ki blast, blah, blah, blah. No, a cool move that he brought up to try to even the playing field or even get advantage. So,
and he got a hit, but he immediately acknowledges this didn't do anything to him.
No, he's strong.
It doesn't do anything to him at all. And then Frieza paralyzes Goku in a beam blast, which turns into like a nuclear explosion of energy.
Yeah.
So much so that everybody almost thinks, remember everybody, this was a moment where everyone thought that Goku was dead for a split second, but then it turns out he escaped by the skin of his teeth. And he's like, yeah, I jumped out of it at the last second. Everybody's like, wow, he's so fast now. And that's when Frieza's like, maybe I should get serious here. And Goku's like, maybe I should too. Which leads us to round 6.
Ding, ding, ding. We're halfway through the fight. 1 hour and 7 minutes in.
Frieza declares, as does Goku, that warm-up time is over.
Yes.
But Frieza also very politely is like, which do you prefer, fighting in the sky or fighting on the ground?
Well, if you ask me, I prefer on the ground.
And then Frieza's like, he does like that little thing. They go on the ground. He's like, and Goku's like, you're really polite. Thank you for giving me that advantage. And Frieza's like, oh, I've got one more gift for you. How about I don't use my hands for this round?
Like, what? No hands?
Yeah. And that's what happens.
Goku's like, I'll take it.
So it's a warm up with no hands, and then in the manga, I don't know how it works in the anime because there's a lot of other flash, sideways in the manga. I mean in the anime, but there's a moment in the manga where it just cuts to a 2-panel shot of Ox King and Chi-Chi just being like, I wonder what Gohan's doing on Namek right now.
No. I think Chi-Chi's like, I wonder what's happening. And I think Ox King actually says, oh, they're probably on their spaceship back already. They're on their way back.
They're probably just goofing around.
Around. They're on their way back. I was like, random, but you know what? Back on Earth. Dun, dun, dun.
Right. And so Frieza, even without his hands, kicking the shit out of Goku.
Yeah.
This is a quick round. It's mainly an advantage for Frieza until.
Well, he also said he didn't say anything about no tail. All right, let's be real. Like tail is coming up here in the next segment. Tail's a huge
It is
factor.
another appendage. It's prehensile. It can wrap around stuff. It
He
can
used that
choke
to kill
people.
Vegeta, basically.
Yeah, it was choking Vegeta while he was punching his spine, so it is prehensile.
Yeah.
It is an extra limb, so the hands almost don't matter. So he goes for a rear naked choke via tail against Goku, but then Goku just chomps into the tail.
That was a great moment, too.
Yeah.
Oh, what another great, like, classic Goku. What would Goku do moment? Like, that's why we love Goku. He doesn't get enough love. We're Krillin stans here, but we love Goku too. And he does the whole, well, if I can't do anything, he's choking. He's like, what do I do? And he says, well, screw it. I'm just going to have to bite his tail. And it bites his tail. And the look on Frieza's face is just iconic.
I mean, Toriyama, obviously, huge fan of Hong Kong cinema. We're huge fans of Hong Kong cinema too. If you've ever seen Fist of Fury, aka Chinese Connection, Bruce Lee classic, there's a moment where the Russian fighter is choking Bruce Lee with his legs, and Bruce Lee just bites his leg. And this is like a little homage to that, but it's also a very character moment for Goku. The fact that Goku would just bite his tail, and then it's kind of comedic because then Frieza then punches him in the face, and Goku's like, hey, what happened to using no hands? And then Frieza's like, all right, now the warm-up round is over.
Yes.
Again.
Ding, ding, ding.
Which leads us to round 7. The warm-up is over again. Now Frieza is just kicking the shit out of Goku.
Yes.
Goku has no chance. He's fighting his hardest, and we get a little cut in the manga to King Kai's planet where Ten Shin Han is like, you know, it's all good because Goku's body can now withstand a Kaioken times 10. Why doesn't he just use that?
Well, it turns out that, dun, 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 we don't know, which is a great little narrative drop here is that no, he's been using the Kaioken times 10.
He's been using it
the whole time.
The whole time. So at 10 times his power, he's still no match for Frieza.
What a great needle drop.
Yeah.
Even if you're reading the manga and not even watching the anime, what a great, exciting moment. We're like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Because like you're like, oh, this is new base Goku. No, it's not. This is Goku under control of Kaioken times 10, not doing anything.
And the artists who did the full color versions, they actually foreshadowed this a little bit because they made his aura red, which isn't something that you get in the monochrome. And I love both mediums. I love the black and white. I love this color thing. It's so gorgeous. But I do love it in the monochrome a little bit more because it's more of a surprise.
No,
and in the anime they do it too.
Yes.
They don't show the red aura before King Kai makes that revelation.
Yeah, because I was reading the manga just the other day and it shocked the hell out of me. I was like, oh shit. And I remembered that, but it was still a shock to me.
Right.
You know, so it's so cool to just see that moment. It's like, bam. It's like just another way that Akira Toriyama is just the GOAT, man. He adds another little twist at a perfect moment to make you feel a little bit more that you didn't think you were going to feel because you thought it was just all, insane action. But no, there's more to it.
Right. And the Kaioken...
What a layer. Yeah.
And the Kaioken, as we've said in multiple different mediums, is not a power-up. It is a narrative tool. It has to have stakes in order for it to be extra cool. So we now know that he has been using it as a power-up and it's had no effect.
Exactly.
And so now he's like, well, maybe I should go 20 times Kaioken, even though I don't know if my body can handle that. Which I'm like, great. Now we have stakes. Like he's gonna try to push himself beyond his limit. Long story short, we don't need to describe every punch and ki blast here. He goes 20 times Kaioken. It's still not enough.
Nothing, because Frieza's still been holding back, right?
Right. He's still been holding back. So 20 times Kaioken doesn't do anything either. And that ends round 7. Round 8 has a very confusing beginning for Frieza, who is unfamiliar, but to the audience, we have a little sense of foreboding because Frieza is looking at Goku like, what the hell are you doing? And Goku's just got his hands up in the air. And even Piccolo's like, what the hell is he doing?
If you're watching on YouTube, I'm not constipated. I'm working on my Genki Dama.
Yeah, he's got his hands up in the air. He is summoning the Genki of all the living things and everything around the universe. But Krillin recognizes this because Krillin actually threw it.
Thank God we have the Z Warriors there to give us a little insider baseball to tell us like what's going on here. Why is his hands up? Oh, of course.
They even add a little scarcity because he's like, oh, but gathers ki from every living thing. He's like, but there's no way he's going to be able to gather enough ki because there's nothing living on Namek anymore.
And then Piccolo says, or Vegeta, no, Vegeta's dead. Piccolo, for this moment, and Piccolo's like, no. I think he's gathering from other planets as well.
Right, and Frieza is very polite. He just kind of lets him do it for a long time, and Goku's like, it's not enough, and in the anime they make more of a meal out of this in the manga, and this is something that I appreciate about the anime and the Kikuchi score. I love the Genki Dame theme, the dun dun dun, dun dun dun. Dun dun dun. It's the strings.
It's building. I mean, it's a great score. I love it.
It's great. Frieza's like, what are you doing? Like, why are you just standing with your hands up in the air? And Goku's like, I can do this as much as I want. And then Frieza starts like hitting him.
He gets tired. Yeah, Frieza's like, you know what? I'm tired of waiting, right?
Yeah, it's like, I want to kill you already. And so Piccolo's like,
someone's got to stall.
Piccolo's like, guys, Gohan, Krillin, give me the last of your ki. You literally give me the last of your ki.
And they're like this, like a little hand guy from Scary Movie. He's like,
right. Which I can't even do a bit about this because Dragon Ball Abridged has done every bit about this possible, but it's now a role reversal from Raditz. Where now Piccolo has to get his ass kicked by Frieza for a few minutes while Goku gathers the requisite energy to make a Genki Dama. And it's almost vengeful. We're like Goku's like, yeah, I just need a little bit of time. You could hold yourself off against them or whatever.
You got it. He's like, no, you don't need my. He's like, what? You're gonna take my energy to get your ass kicked?
Right.
which you know is gonna happen anyway. He's like, yeah, that's basically the plan. I'm like, okay, well, better than nothing.
Every time you guys comment too with Dragon Ball Z abridged quotes, I love it. It's like, have you been holding a grudge? But at this point, Frieza has seen the Genki Dama. He sees this giant moon-sized thing of energy in the sky. He's like, what's that? Is that what you've been making this whole time? Yeah. And he gets super pissed off, but then luckily Piccolo distracts him. Yeah.
And he still doesn't do really shit about it in the moment. Like, as soon as I see a big-ass ball of light above me that's not the sun, because he knows from the sun, because he looks at the water, and he says, that's not the sun. He looks up, he's like, oh, shit. This dude has been building the biggest ball of energy that you could summon. And I think in the manga, I mean, gosh, I wish I had it written down here in my notes, but I'm done off my notes now. But he says, I think Krillin or Gohan or Piccolo says, he's like, wow, this is like exponentially bigger than the one they made on Earth.
Right.
Like, he's like literally like 100 times more, and Goku still wants more energy.
Right. We've seen Saiyan Saga. We've seen the World's Strongest. Right. We've seen this basketball-sized Genki Dama before, and now there's just this massive moon-sized Genki Dama.
It's huge.
It's absolutely huge. Piccolo distracts Frieza, and then in a beautiful piece of animation in the anime, finally Goku's like, "That's enough," and just, and you just see this moon like in space just. Boom, come down.
What a cool moment.
Yeah, and then Frieza sees that it's coming towards him.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, hit the deck, you know.
They're like, ah.
It's amazing it didn't blow up the planet.
Right.
And I don't speak Japanese.
No.
There are multiple ways that Frieza's line is translated. Like, I think in the manga and in Kai, when I was rewatching with my girlfriend, he just kind of says, this is nothing.
Yeah.
This is nothing. But in the original cut, in the translation, he's like saying, I'll just take this and... Like, he's like trying to like minimize it. Like, I'll just take this and... as he's being crushed. Oh, because before Goku throws it, he's about to destroy the planet. He makes his little planet-destroying ball with his finger, which we'll see much later as well in Dragon Ball Z. Then Goku throws it, it comes down, he tries to catch it, but nope, can't catch it.
Nope, can't catch it. Yeah.
That's it. Boom. Genki Dama explodes, leaves a big-ass crater in Namek.
Huge crater in Namek. Not even Frieza's trying to destroy it, but...
We don't even know right now if Goku is alive.
Don't even know.
We probably know he's alive because, I mean, let's be honest, he's the hero.
He's the hero.
But yeah, so Krillin and Gohan survive.
Right.
Piccolo pulls Goku out of the water.
Yeah, which is a really good moment. Cool moment.
Yeah. And they have this little celebratory moment of like, oh, thank God the nightmare is over.
Is it
Thank
though?
God.
Is it though, guys? Let's be real.
Yeah, because Krillin's like, And everyone's like, what's wrong, Krillin? He's like,
it's a multiple panel shot from the manga. It was like,
right.
It's like,
He goes,
and
what?
it's close to
And
his eyes.
And he's like, wait, I forgot that we have to rescue Bulma.
Yes.
And they're like, oh, Krillin, why did you make that face? We thought that Frieza was back from the dead for a second. And then he does it again. And now we see Frieza is alive.
And these guys, man, Piccolo, Goku, they're exchanging pleasantries. They're like, "Oh, good job!" Doing the whole.
This is where in the anime, and it wasn't in the manga. So Krillin is the shit.
Yeah.
It wasn't in the manga, but it was in the anime where Krillin's like, "I've never even had a girlfriend before,"
Yes.
or whatever, and everyone just kind of has a little bit of a laugh.
Yeah.
But nope, Frieza's still alive.
Yeah, Frieza is live, and I think he's pissed.
And his tail has been cut off again.
He's not happy now, man.
And he immediately just, boom, impales Piccolo with a beam. Just boom. The same beam that he used to kill Dende. He is pissed off.
Like, what do you guys know, if you're watching this or listening, what is the name? Is that just a death beam? I'm sure in the Dragon Ball Z Fighter or the games, the Tenkaichi Budokai, there's got to be a name for that attack, but I think it is just like the Vegeta, Frieza death beam or something. I'm not sure.
There's so much in this fight. There's stuff that I'm remembering that we forgot about, because like when Goku went 20 times Kaioken earlier, he did do an attack.
He dodged like 100 of the death beams.
Yeah, he did, and then he did like a Kamehameha that like hurt Frieza. Like Frieza was like, that hurt. That hurt! Like,
Yes,
he's like
he
actually
was
pissed. Yeah. He was pissed
well.
off. So but now he's super pissed. He impales Piccolo.
Yeah.
And
But thankfully, you see, if you're reading the manga and you're watching the anime, you definitely know it's not a fatal shot, but it's a life wounding if it doesn't get that fixed soon.
Right.
I mean, talking like upper, left chest, like this area right here.
right.
Boom.
And then Goku again, like he told them at the beginning of the fight, he's like, guys, just get the hell out of here. Let me handle this. And Frieza's like, you guys aren't going anywhere, and just vroom, boom, tosses Krillin up in the air. And Goku, like, Frieza, don't.
And then Krillin's like, I guess you see you get bloated, like he's had bad indigestion. No, that's not indigestion. That's a fucking implosion, guys. Frieza decides, and this is the moment that we've all unfortunately been waiting for, because Krillin's our guy, but this is also the most iconic
It is
moment.
his second death.
Second death.
Second death, yeah.
And most iconic moment in anime history. I'm going to say all of anime. You literally, come at me.
Shots fired.
Come at me, people. I think this is the most iconic moment in anime. Everyone knows it.
This moment is a benchmark for, if you think about Naruto achieving, his fox form, his sage form, all of these things, like every Luffy transformation comes from this moment.
Everyone knows this.
And we were talking off pod, and the manga, surprisingly anticlimactic. It's one panel. But in the anime, which we have to mention, the elongation actually works for it. Because
it does work well.
Goku is so enraged that Krillin is dead.
Well,
he's so enraged.
Yeah, we didn't say it, but yes, he gets imploded. Boom!
Yeah.
Huge explosion. There is nothing left. Very similar to Chalsu, but this is our guy, Krillin.
Right.
Pissed.
He's gone. He's pissed. Lightning is striking the ground.
Goku's best friend.
Veins are bulging out of his neck. He's getting a pump just
colors.
from isometric tension. His muscles are getting bigger.
Everything before this was Goku is a very humble, loving, caring guy. He could get over, but this one, no. He just killed his best friend since day one.
And watching my girlfriend experience this for the first time
still gets me riled up.
Yeah, having not experienced this as a kid, watching her, and she's like, "Oh no!"
Yes.
Like, "Oh no!" And then when Goku, his rage starts bursting, she grabbed me, and she's like, Is he gonna be a Super Saiyan? Is this it?" And then all this little things.
She didn't know.
He's like whipping his head back, and his hair is just like flashing gold.
And you also see like the back shot too. It's like this kind of deal. It's like, I was like, what the fuck? fuck, it's happening, guys.
It's
This is
happening.
We've seen it all over the world besides America for 30
Right.
years. We don't know what's happening.
Finally, the t-shirts will make sense.
We have never seen the episode. Guys, we know. We waited forever for this moment.
and it did not disappoint.
It delivered on
Yeah.
every account.
Goku is now a Super Saiyan.
Hair goes blonde, sticks spiky up like Vegeta's, but better.
Right. And he tells Gohan one more time, Piccolo isn't dead.
Yeah.
Get him to my ship. Get off the planet. And Gohan,
I'm about to kick some ass.
yeah, Gohan. I'm about to fuck some alien shit up, Gohan. And Gohan's like,
go.
but daddy.
Go, Gohan!
And Goku has a line here, which I'm going to go on a little tangent about. Or no, Goku has a line where he says, get out of here while I have a single shred of sanity left.
Exactly. Very important note because this plot point might have been lost.
It might have been forgotten.
It might have been forgotten. So let's go a little bit into detail.
From the moment that Vegeta mentions Super Saiyan when Goku arrives on Namek, there's a moment where when Goku spares the Ginyu Force, he says, well, Kakarot can't be a Super Saiyan because a Super Saiyan is supposed to love battle and destruction above all things.
Yes.
And so there's no way he can be it. Clearly it's me.
Yes.
Clearly it's me. And then he thought maybe it's Gohan because Gohan, he's triggered by anger when he gets his Zenkai moments, when he powers up and stuff like that. And it seemed like this moment delivered on that, where Goku knew, he was like, I am about to lose Son Goku and I am about to become Super Saiyan.
Even he is terrified of what the power he feels is going through his veins right
His
now.
persona is about to change completely
He doesn't
in this
know
form.
what he's going to become. Just like a werewolf at night, you know?
Right.
Exactly.
And so it's why so much of the fandom to this day, if you don't know the behind the scenes that this actually wasn't the case, so many people make the false claim, well, Toriyama wanted to finish it at Frieza, and Shonen Jump made him continue it past Frieza. It's because this moment is the perfect end of Dragon Ball Z.
Right.
It's the perfect end of the culmination of Goku ascends beyond himself to this deeper primal thing that was awakened at the loss of his best friend.
Right.
And now he is going to have to defeat the Emperor of the Universe with this power.
I mean, how do you match that?
Yeah.
Dune level stuff right there, you know?
Which is now...
But real quick, everyone who's listening, everyone who's watching, write in the comments right now. Tell us about the moment you remember when Goku became Super Saiyan. How did it happen? Was it from a t-shirt? Was it from something that wasn't the anime? Was it from the anime? Was it
from
Toonami?
Dragon Ball GT Final Bout like it was for me?
Yeah, like tell us when you first found out about the Super Saiyan. Was it from Sonic the Hedgehog?
Yes, Sonic the
Yes.
Hedgehog. Super Sonic was
Yes.
directly referential to Super Saiyan.
Not even reference. It was just straight up ripped off. That's how amazing it was. So this is a
Ripped
huge
off with
moment.
love, because I love Sonic
Yeah.
the Hedgehog. Yeah.
I mean, I had seen it in the animes. I never saw the moment. The thing is, like, I saw some of the movies. So, okay, quick tangent. I got bootlegs, guys. Like, I got VHS. This is gonna age my
ripped
ass
from
out.
Laserdisc, fan subbed.
Fan sub, Japanese bootleg VHS tapes of the movies, like the later movies when they're already Super Saiyans.
Right.
And I was like, I had never seen him go Super Saiyan for the first time, like in real time with the episodes caught up to date. I was just always just trying to get bits and pieces here because I want to see it. And this happened, and this was like a game changer. I remember everyone was waiting for this moment forever. Like, it doesn't matter what kid you were, who you were, you guys all know it. Even the people who don't want to admit it, you guys watched it and you were excited to see it because this was the shit.
I will share my moment.
Yeah.
I was at my buddy Scott's house. We were huge Dragon Ball Z fans. He was in the same boat as me, the same boat as you. We had just been watching the same shit over and over again. We were both excited that now Dragon Ball Z was an after-school show because of the advent of Toonami. And when this happened, we exchanged a look, and we're like, we finally saw him go Super Saiyan.
Finally.
Yeah.
And you noobs, you younger guys, we love you, but like, you don't know. We had to wait year after year after year.
You don't know how hard it was waiting year after year.
Back in my day.
Yeah. So it was, man.
It was.
The scarcity of media that we had to experience in the 90s, it made us strong.
It wasn't right at our fingertips. We had to find it.
And it made this moment like extra cool. I mean, listen, with One Piece, the only reason One Piece pulled this off with Gear 5 is because Oda had been teasing Joy Boy forever.
Right.
I think back to Skypia. So if you're really paying attention to the lore of One Piece, he's teasing Joy Boy all this time, interleaving. You're like, when is this Joy Boy thing going to occur? And then you see Gear 5 and it's like, finally. I mean, but it's the same thing. It's temporally making you wait. And I mean, One Piece fans probably have more patience than we do because they had to wait like 20 years for Joy Boy to show up.
But guess what? It was worth it.
It was worth it. It was beautiful. And
this transformation, and sometimes we talk shit about transformations here. Let's be real. We do. We're Kaioken fans. We talk shit about Super Saiyan. But you know what? This was a moment that is always going to be up there in the epitome of our fandom here. And you can tell just the way we're talking, how excited we are. We are fans of Super Saiyan.
This is the moment. There is only one other moment, and you all know what it is, where a transformation is cooler than this, or more substantial than this, and closes an arc as good or better than this.
Right.
But this one is the best one sequentially. Because we all know, I'm talking about Super Saiyan 2. I'm talking about Gohan going Super Saiyan 2 against Cell.
Okay. I was about to say, I was like, well, Ultra Instinct, Super...
okay, no. I'm not even talking about Super. Ultra Instinct is pretty dope.
I cannot wait for the Gohan. That's like the second one. You're right.
But this one, then the Gohan. It wasn't as continuous as this. Yes. It wasn't like from Raditz to here. Saiyans exist. The Saiyans work for Frieza. Frieza's the Emperor of the Universe. He killed all the Saiyans. He's afraid of the Super Saiyan. Mm-hmm. The Super Saiyan is this being of like immeasurable power. Now Goku, this low-ranked person who became strong just because he loves training, he is the thing that the Emperor of the Universe fears the most. Boom. Perfect. Right there.
We could literally talk about Super Saiyan transformation for the first time for Goku probably for like 3 hours. I think we could.
We could. But we should move along with the fight because now it's round 9. Super Saiyan Goku versus Frieza.
All right. Round 9. Super Saiyan Goku versus Frieza.
It starts off with the immediate reveal, right? That Goku is way faster than Frieza because Frieza's like, oh, you're not escaping Gohan. And Goku does what Frieza did earlier to Gohan. Where he just blocks him and he's like, nope.
What we call over on the Dragon Ball Z Megapod the zip zap zoom, where you whether it's an attack or you can just move really quick, or other people are watching you try to fight and they can't sense your keys. They're like, what? We just see flickers here and there. That's called the zip zap zoom. Too fast, too furious.
And what ensues next is basically Frieza throwing the kitchen sink at Goku.
Everything.
Huge blast, doesn't do anything. Little finger blast, the thing that killed Dende, the thing that killed Piccolo, or almost killed Piccolo. Just boom, 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 and Goku's just like dodges every single one of them.
No big deal.
And Frieza's getting pissed off. He's like, no one's ever dodged this attack before.
But he's still arrogant, right? He's still arrogant. He's like, well, even if you are the Super Saiyan. So he even admits, he's like, you look different. I don't know, that hair maybe. But he says, he's like, even if you're a Super Saiyan, I'm still the strongest living being ever in the world.
Right. And he's like, no one's ever dodged this attack before. So Goku's like, all right, hit me with it.
Yeah.
And Frieza goes,
he's like,
boom.
Are you sure? This is Death Beam. Do you want the Death Beam? All right.
And Goku's like, I want the Death Beam.
right in the chin, brother. And he shoots him and boom.
Just knocks his head back.
Yeah, that's about it.
Tilts it up and he says like, what the hell are you? Like you're not a Saiyan. You can't be this strong. What are you? And Goku's like,
you get a super cool panel and he says,
well, he makes his little speech.
Yeah.
He's like, I am the light in the darkness. No, not that speech. That's the dumb speech.
Yeah.
He says I am the Saiyan who came all the way from Earth to defeat you, the warrior of legend with a pure heart awakened by pure rage.
Yes.
And then that one panel.
I am Son Goku.
Yeah.
Boom.
Super Saiyajin
Super
Son
Saiyan
Goku.
Boom. Coolest panel if you read the manga. An amazing scene in the anime as well. Like we said, these are GOAT episodes.
Right. And props to Sean Schemmel in the DB Kai dub, who insisted, even though no one ever calls Goku Son Goku in the dub, but he was like, this is the line that I want to say this line. I want to say I am the Super Saiyan Son Goku.
Yeah.
And we got it. It was great. I think my girlfriend might have been confused by it because, again, we never heard it. And then Frieza says, it's like, so you're the Super Saiyan. It makes sense. If you needed a pure heart to achieve it, it makes sense why Vegeta never could.
Yeah. Still talking shit, Frieza.
Still talking shit. So Goku, what proceeds next, without going blow by blow, is Goku now in Super Saiyan is much more powerful than Frieza, who at his current form, we've established he's like 50% of his total power.
Yep. Bigger, faster, stronger. Goku basically sums it up right there.
Right. But Frieza has an ace in the hole.
Yes.
And what he says is because I can survive in the vacuum of space.
Yeah.
So he just quickly big ball, boom, throws it down at the planet.
Yep. The Frieza version of Genki Dama, he does it.
Right. And there's a huge explosion, and it's so convincing that even Kaio-sama, King Kai, who is the Lord of Worlds, is fooled by it.
Yeah.
He tells all the Z fighters basically like, oh, well, Goku let Frieza get off one final attack and he blew up the planet. And now the planet is gone.
Yep.
But then he gets a little phone call in his mind from
Goku.
From Kami.
Oh, sorry, Kami.
No, it's all good.
Okay, I remember this part now. And he's like, no, no, we're not dead yet. He's like, because
he's like, Mr. Popo is gathering all the Dragon Balls.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, oh, that's a good idea. He's like, wait a minute, you're alive?
The funny thing is, we're talking about this, like the telepathy, like connection. He's like, in 20 years from now, guys, from this podcast, there really might be like a Neuralink thing where it's like, oh, hey, Dan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like, Dan.
This conversation,
this could be.
Well, I guess all conversations are going to be quaint at that point if we have Neuralink and we can actually just communicate via some extra,
But that could happen. But they're all on a like a Zoom call together without, just audio, not visual, but they're all on Zoom.
Right.
So they hear each other, even Goku included.
Right. So if Kami's alive, Piccolo's alive. Yeah. So Namek still exists, which brings us to round 10. Round 10 of the fight.
We're almost done with this battle. This is an epic damn battle.
If any of you love combat sports, you know that the maximum amount of rounds in a boxing match now is 12 rounds. So we are almost at the end. We're at round 10.
Ding, ding.
Frieza's like, haha, I'm going to blow up the planet. It's great. Goku's like, you're kind of a pussy because you held back because you didn't want to get caught up in the explosion.
He's like, do it. Come on.
Yeah. And Frieza's like, it doesn't matter. The planet's going to explode in 5 minutes or in anime time, 16 episodes.
Yeah. and Goku not being, he's Super Saiyan. He has, the one thing we gotta touch on is that there is a little bit of like, for the first time in Goku's life, like there is a little bit of a hubris, a little arrogance, like he's talking his shit. Sometimes he says it, but in silence, just by his actions, his movements. But now he's actually like, yeah, 5 minutes. Oh, that's enough time. He basically says like, is that it? Really? He's like, I'll be all right. I'll find a way off this planet in 5 minutes. Let's go.
His personality is a bit different, right?
It's a little bit different. So I really wish I could pick their mind and see what they're thinking, because like maybe he was gonna have like a hard change. Like we see in Super with Zamasu and whatever in Black Goku, where it's kind of like, let's just see what would have happened if he did get darker. But I'm glad he didn't go that way. But at the same time, it was cool to see like there was a distinct personality change in Super Saiyan Goku for the first time.
Right.
And maybe it's more of a control thing. Maybe he did, because he doesn't know how to control it yet. Because in Cell Saga, they spent a lot of Cell Saga learning how to control Super Saiyan levels. Right. And controlling that, staying that form longer, controlling your emotions, being stronger.
You don't need rage to become it. Yeah,
So maybe it was like an instinctual first thing, and he is hyper hyped up from it. So that's a really cool point, I think.
Yeah.
You guys let us know in the comments what you think about that.
Well, I mean, you raise an interesting point too, because it definitely seems like that arrogance comes from a different place. It comes from that understanding of I am the Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
I am more powerful than you. I have this arrogance because I know I will defeat you.
Oh, this is a wrap. This fight is a wrap. At this
Right.
point, even we all know it. Even Goku's like, no, man, it's done.
But then Frieza buying time is like, well, don't you want to see if you can beat me at my best? Because I'm only using half of my power right now.
He's like,
don't you want me?
what?
Yeah, don't you want me to power up to 100%? And Goku at this point has a conversation in King Kai with King Kai
on speakerphone on like,
right, which is very Goku,
Neuralink.
where he's like, no, I want him to be at full power when I defeat him, which is a very Vegeta move.
Such a Saiyan move right there, guys. Come on.
So
Piccolo does that shit too, though. Let's be real. Piccolo does that too. He did it earlier when he wanted to fight Frieza. I'm like, guys, like teamwork makes the dream work, right?
And what ensues from here is a mostly even battle with Super Saiyan Goku having the edge.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, but it is an epic battle. I mean, Frieza gets an epic pump.
Yeah.
They're beating the shit out of each other. They're blasting the planet apart. The planet is being destroyed.
Goku gets some great elbows in there. He tries to Frieza tries to get him from behind. Doesn't work. It just
there's the famous animation where he just slaps his head back and forth in the anime version, which I believe that's an Ebisawa animation because the face is all deformed and long and stuff like that. But yeah, he has a slight edge. But Frieza, he's showing he's got that dog in him.
Yeah.
He's not Emperor of the Universe for nothing. And then the round ends.
Yeah.
And we go into round 11 with a little surprise where Goku just turns back to normal.
White flag.
Yeah, it just says,
You know what?
I'm leaving. He says your ki is just dropping exponentially. You have no hope. You're pathetic. You lost. You're just gonna sit here and the planet's gonna blow up, and you're just gonna think about how you lost.
Yeah, he's like that's the GOAT move right there. When you're like, you know what, man, I'm not gonna finish you off. He's like, not in a nice way. Goku's like, you ain't worth my time, bro. I'm gonna get on a spaceship and get out of here because you're trash, bro.
Right.
You come back and see me when you're stronger. Literally, I think he says that.
Yeah. And
Like
then Frieza gets pissed off. He's like,
pissed.
there's no way that's happening. He makes two Kienzans of his own.
Another infamous moment for everyone who's seen this, because we all have seen this. Another infamous moment. You've seen the look back that Goku give. I can't do it because I'm facing the camera now, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and Goku has to go Super Saiyan again.
Yes.
Hey, he fights with Frieza some more. There are Kienzans that are just kind of boomerangs being whipped around.
I'm talking buzzsaws everywhere, right?
Right.
It is deadly, but Goku, thank God he knows how to just turn Super Saiyan back on, by the way.
Right.
Because in the manga, he literally is like, oh, it happens. He's like, okay, screw this shit. I'm going Super Saiyan again. And boom, he just does it, like instinctually, which is pretty cool because it does, in the future, it does take time to learn and control.
But Frieza in his rage cannot control the power he has unleashed, and in a poetic moment, gets cut in half by his own Kienzan.
Which I think is quite possibly the best shout out we could give to Toriyama, because there is no better way than him to finish the saga of Frieza by him killing himself on accident.
With an attack that we originally saw Krillin create, no less, after Krillin has been blown up by him. So he's basically done.
I'm talking he's in 6 pieces. I mean, there's half a hand here, half the waist here. If you watch the King Cooler saga coming up pretty soon here, which we will get into in a couple months as well, or maybe sooner. But yeah, that's coming up.
And the end of round 11, not that interesting. Well, Frieza's on the ground begging for his life. And Goku is trying not to hear any of it. He's walking away. And Frieza's like, please don't let me die. And Goku says to him, how many people beg for their lives before you killed them? How many countless, nameless people have you just let die as they begged for their lives?
All of them.
Yeah. And Goku's like, well, I appreciate your honesty. So he gives him some of his energy.
He's like, here you go. And he gives him some key. I'm like, gosh, Goku, bro.
Yeah. And Frieza's a little shocked by it. He's like, what are you doing? He's like, I've given you just enough to kind of get away.
Yeah.
I'm going to go find my ship and my friends. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to do something.
Yeah.
And he starts to fly away. Frieza, I don't remember what he says right here, even though I just read it again yesterday, but he in the English dub, it was a famous racist rant about Goku being just a monkey.
Yeah. No, he did say
And
that.
this is round 12. This is the final round.
Right.
Goku has given him his energy. Frieza's pissed. He's like, "You're just a monkey." He's just taunting him. Goku, before he flies away, is just like, I might be a monkey, but you just got beat by a monkey, so what does that make you? He takes off Frieza's piss, so Frieza puts all of that ki that Goku gave him into one last blast. Up at Goku, that famous shot of Goku turning around, Bakayara! Psh, and just...
And I've never seen a panel like that or even the show. Goku's face says it all. You don't have to say it, but I can curse on YouTube on this channel. But he says,
Right.
"What the fuck?"
Right.
And then he is pissed. I mean, if you check out the manga, because he goes, "No, fuck this shit," and he does like a full boom. Like he's like, "You're not coming back," but he does. I don't know how he didn't destroy him, but he just there's that page. If you read the panels on this manga, he's like, there is nothing left but just death.
Right.
But Goku unleashes on him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we missed a lot of stuff.
Tons of stuff.
During round 10, there was a moment where on Earth they wished everybody who was killed by Frieza back to life. Mm-hmm. Which included the Elder Namek because
Guru.
Yeah, because his death was hastened by Frieza.
It was shortened a little bit by the anxiety, I guess. Yeah.
So with that, Purunga comes back, and Dende comes back. There's one final wish. And they're like, just bring everybody except for... And Goku even says, like, bring everybody except for me and Frieza to Earth. Bring everybody but me and Frieza to Earth. Let me have my fight.
Yeah, he
please.
loves to fight. Saiyan blood.
So they do that. Vegeta comes back. Vegeta sees Goku as a Super Saiyan and is like, Kakarot, you've done it. You're the Super Saiyan. Everybody's gone. But now we forget things on this podcast. That already happened in the past. Now everybody's on Earth except for Goku and Frieza. Goku blasts Frieza. Goku is trying to escape. And all we see is him go... No, and then we see the planet Namek explode.
Well, they go to the Frieza spaceship, but there's a hole that he can't get a launch. He's pressing all the buttons. You know, Goku. He's not a computer guy like me. He's a nerdy jock. He's all like, "Oh, what do I do here?" He's like, "I can't launch this shit. I train and fight people."
Kevin is the ultimate computer guy.
Little inside baseball. Like I learned how to edit like a month ago, so like I'm learning how to use a laptop.
We're getting better all the time, guys.
We're working on this.
It's like a punk band. We're like, I don't want to compare us to the Ramones, but we only know 3 chords, and we're just slowly
learning from there.
Right.
But long story short, we don't know what happens. All we see is a big white.
And we know that everybody else is on Earth. We don't know the fate of Goku, and thus wraps the battle with Frieza.
To be continued. Wow.
Yeah, over half a year of releases in the original run, watching just this fight. If you watch this fight, it is fun to watch in the original. There are all those little side tangents of like Bulma becoming Ginyu Frog and all that stuff.
And the Ginyu Force, dead Ginyu Force trying to fight the Z Fighters on Kyle-sama's planet. With Tien, Yamcha, all that stuff.
Right.
That's not even in our pod right now. We're almost at 2 hours now.
It can't even be canon because allegedly if you're evil and you die, you don't even get to keep your body. So how can you...
Thank you for reminding me. Sorry to interrupt. We're going to talk about this right now. Earlier, we had done a couple of shorts and a couple of pods where we mentioned how Vegeta was asking Piccolo about death when he's Majin Vegeta, and he says, "Am I gonna go to heaven, or am I gonna?
Do I get to see Kakarot in the next life?"
Next life, and Piccolo says, "Well, Vegeta, you've killed a lot of people. You're a pretty fucked up guy." He's like, "I don't think so, in all honesty." And everyone's like, "Well, no." I was like, "Why is Vegeta asking about what it's like to die?" Because he's like, "We all know he died on Namek from Frieza."
That's right.
But guess what?
You should know.
But guess what? He was dead such a short amount of time because they wish him back hours after he died. It's not even days. It's hours.
I'd say minutes.
I would say minutes after he died.
Yeah.
So it's like I can argue this fact canonically that he might have not even gotten to the gates before King Yama said, heaven, hell, and did his thing like stamp yes, stamp
He
no.
might not have even realized he was dead.
Exactly. Yeah. So everyone who was like, saying, oh, well, he's died before, he should know. Like, no, he didn't. It was minutes for him.
Also, if we're talking about the world building here, about what death is, I have to mention the fact that by the point when he asks Piccolo this in the Buu saga, he's been a family man for like 8 years.
Yes.
He's been a good guy.
Good guy.
For like 8 years. I mean, sure, he was possessed by Babidi and he like killed a few people.
And he asked to be possessed by Babidi.
But then he was like gonna sacrifice himself to like kill Buu. But then like Piccolo brings it down hard on him. It's like, nope, you spent most of your life killing people, so you're just gonna go to hell. Your soul's gonna be cleansed and you're gonna be reborn. But it's like, wait, but Piccolo was evil for his entire life until he saved Gohan, and he got to keep his body and go to King Kai's planet.
But was that really the same Piccolo, or like half the same Piccolo?
I mean, as I said that, I could see the long arguments in the comments where people were like, Piccolo didn't commit genocide, guys. He didn't murder people. He actually Piccolo didn't kill any person except for Goku.
I mean, even on the planet Namek, when they revived everyone who died by Frieza on Namek, a whole village is still dead, and they're like,
because
why?
of Vegeta,
Because of Vegeta. Vegeta, he brags about it.
Right.
Like, who does that? He's like, ha ha ha, your friends didn't come back because I'm the one who killed those.
Like, I don't see Patura's village people. And he's like, huh, that's because I killed them and I wasn't Frieza's henchman when I did it because I was in rebellion.
You know, be better, Vegeta. But
so, anyway, that wraps up the Frieza fight. One of the most, if not the most iconic fight in all of Shonen Manga.
We were going to do who won each round, but I don't think we're going to do it, honestly. I think we'll do that in another pod. We might do a little pre-cap or something like that later, but like...
Who needs it?
I don't think
Who's asking for that? It's like, I want to know the 10-9 score of who won each round.
Yeah, I think in the end, Super Saiyan Goku, you're the man.
And I've said it before, and I know you're wondering why my gloves that I've been wearing this whole pod are suddenly off. It's because we cut briefly and I forgot to put them back on. We need bathroom breaks sometimes, guys. This is a long record, all right?
It's a long pod.
And we've been drinking frosty mugs of seawater, just like Master Roshi this whole time.
So it's been a fun one. So
yeah,
if you guys are still here with us 1 hour and 52 minutes in, we love you. We thank you. Let us know what you think in the comments and tell us about your first experience when you saw Goku go Super Saiyan.
Yeah, and just you know, the catharsis of actually getting to see this part of the story after so long and seeing maybe the best wrap up in all of the Dragon Ball Z stories. I mean, from Raditz to this, it's completely continuous. And it's led a lot of fans to incorrectly speculate that Toriyama wanted to end it here. And I think that
including myself at one point.
Right, because I think that it is a perfect ending, honestly. The only ending that it does not satisfy is all of the little seeds planted of Gohan's ultimate destiny of becoming the strongest person. But
they recovered that pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, they get to that eventually, but...
That's another pod.
That is another pod. But hey, thank you as always for joining us on Nerdy Jock Media, Dragon Ball Z Megapod. This has been so much fun going through the Saiyan saga and the Frieza saga. We're going to have one more episode covering the Namek saga, and we will probably do Tree of Might around here if we have not done it already, because it is...
I love Tree of Might. I'm so excited.
So yeah.
Stay tuned and stick in. Should we do a pre-cap of what we're going to be doing next?
I think we'll save that for the next episode.
Okay.
We've got a bit of a surprise. We're gonna take it.
We're gonna tell you, but we're
gonna turn the corner. We're gonna do something a little bit different moving forward.
Big shit's popping.
Yeah, but this has been so much fun. You know, from episode 1, going through the Saiyan saga all the way through the Namek saga. I mean, it's just like the opportunity to interact with all of you and hearing from you your, experiences as well with all of this and all the similarities that we've had in our lives. And I love it when somebody catches some weird obscure reference I make, like to the Guyver or something like that.
I love it.
It's like,
great film.
Dragon Ball Z, man. This is something that continues to unite people across time, even posthumously. With the creator being gone, I'm stoked for Dragon Ball Daima. Now that I know what I know about it with the animation team and stuff like that, it's gonna be
awesome.
It's gonna be awesome, and I can't wait. Hopefully someday we get Dragon Ball Super, the Granola, and the Mora arcs.
I guarantee we will. But that's another pod.
Thank you so much. Coming to you from Planet Namek, this is DK the DB Guru.
And Kevin the Nerdy Jock. We'll see you guys next week on Dragon Ball Z Megapod. Love ya. Peace.
Abayo.